Hey, I'm David from Bandai Namco Toys and Collectibles America, and this is our booth at Toy Fair. Check it out. We got to start off the Godzilla section. Everybody loves Godzilla. He is the king of the monsters. You're looking at some of our amazing blind items from Gashapon. You know, these come in these cool little rock capsules. You know, and once you pop it open, they turn into the fun little displays you see them standing on right there. It's a lot of fun. Everybody loves Godzilla. It's got a fun, eclectic range of characters, you know, that you can only get from our Gashapon stuff. So we love that. You know, and just right next to that is kind of our mass market Godzilla toys. You know, these are like some soft vinyl items. You know, well, these are beautiful if you you know, you want some bath time. You take the King of the Monsters in there, take a Ghidorah, you know, take a Destroya, Mecha Godzilla in there, and it's fun in the bath or out of the bath. You know, if baths aren't your thing. After that is kind of another mass market item. This is going to be our Godzilla toy line. These are $24.99. You know, they're available in mass retailers now, like Target and Walmart. They're really, really fun. You know, they scale nicely with, you know, some of the other, like, you know, some of the other toys that we have. But yeah, they come with a nice little heat breath, or Mechagodzilla, you know, his little beam. Lots of fun. And then, of course, we go to the big boys. We go to the SH Monster Arts. This is our -1 SH Monster Arts. If you're a Godzilla fan, you can't go wrong with Monster Arts. They are the top of the line, amazing articulation and sculpt. So we have the -1, and then below it, we kind of have some of our stuff from the New Empire. You know, we have Kong, we have Godzilla with his heat breath. You know, just kind of showing you kind of the different paint apps that you can get. You know, of course, he's charging up, and it looks so good. Ichiban Show does a lot of fun stuff with Gashapon, or not Gashapon, with Godzilla as well. A lot of people are kind of freaking out over here with the Godzillasaurus. It doesn't get a ton of love, but you know, people are having a lot of fun with it. And maybe my personal favorite thing we're showing right now is this little Godzilla and Space Godzilla, kind of like just sitting there chilling. You could picture them with some orange slices at a soccer game, just you know, going to town, having some fun. And of course, we make more than just figures. You know, the paper theater here are some nice little art pieces. It's something fun you put together like a puzzle, and then at the end you have this awesome little you know, shrine to Godzilla. And then last but not least are some of our bigger vinyl figures. Same thing, you get those at mass retailers. Most of them are out now, but the line continues to evolve. And what I love about this line is it has so many different monsters, so many different kaiju, that, you know, whatever you're into, we got it. All right, in 2025, what is new is yo-yos. I don't know if you've heard of yo-yos. They're brand new toys that we invented. I'm just kidding. But we've definitely done some stuff. Richard here is going to show you some amazing tricks. It is ridiculous. I've been watching him do this for the last like couple hours, and yeah, I think he might be a witch. Like look at all that. Round the world. Look. All right, what do we got? Oh, cradle. Whoa. Told you, witch. All right, Ultraman is an iconic kaiju series. You know, in Japan, it's incredibly popular. The West is growing in popularity. The Netflix movie Ultraman Rising did really, really well. Here you see kind of our toy line. It's $24.99, available at, you know, Amazon, most retailers. You know, you get a fun little you know, 1/12 scale figure and a couple kaiju. So it's a lot of fun. And then we have a little bit bigger toys. We have the Ultraman Rising 12-inch over there. Lights up, has sounds from the movie. Christopher Sean, who's the voice of Ultraman in the movie, you know, he's been by our studio a couple times. It's a lot of fun. So we like to squeeze it. So we feel like Christopher Sean is with us all the time. And then we have some soft vinyl figures here, as well as our blind box for Ultraman, which are really cool because they come in these little buildings. And so once you open it, you get a little building set. Or if you want to split in half, you got 2 building sets. And it just makes like a fun little diorama for all of your kaiju. And then on the bottom is the SH Figure Arts for Ultraman. You know, SH Figure Arts are the creme de la creme of action figures. You know, the paint scheme, the articulation. You know, you can't overstate the articulation. If there's a pose you want to get in this from Ultraman, you know, SH Figure Arts are where you got to go. And then we do models. Bandai loves their models. Here is the Ultraman Rising from Netflix model of Ultraman. As you can see, it comes in a couple sprues. It's super fun to put together. No paint, no glue required. Just snaps together, and you got a cool Ultraman. We've got some nanoblocks here. Nanoblock is the original nano-sized building blocks. These are you know, these are Ultraman and some of his more famous kaiju. And then, of course, more soft vinyl. This for the Ultraman. What's beautiful about Ultraman is they has so many kaiju. He almost has a different kaiju every week. And, so we try to take some of the more popular ones and put them in vinyl form. And there's just so many. There's a plethora, if you would say. All right, Demon Slayer is a very hot anime. It's got a couple seasons out. It's got a couple movies. They're going to finish it up in the next couple years. But here you can see the Proplica swords from Tamashii Nations. We have Tanjiro. We have the Tengen sword. We have Gyu's sword. And they come with these amazing display stands that you can put up there. They play sounds and music and, dialogue from the film when you push the button. And, they just look so cool on your shelf. Underneath them are our toy offerings for Demon Slayer. These are available at most mass market retailers as well as Amazon.com. And you can pick these bad boys up for $16.99. A lot of fun, a lot of posability if you want to kind of collect the whole line. It's a great and affordable way to go about it. But if you got just a little bit more money and you want to invest in the Tamashii Nations figures, Tamashii Nations, over here we have Tanjiro, we have Gyu, and we have Nezuko. These are going to be hyper-articulated. These are going to come with tons of accessory parts, going to come with multiple faces, multiple hands, multiple accessories, and those are fantastic. And then next to it, you have the Figure Art Zero statue of Tanjiro and Nezuko. These are two separate statues that interact with each other, and so that's just a fun little effect that Tamashii Nations put into it. Moving on, we have our nanoblock section. Demon Slayer is big for nanoblocks, and nanoblocks does a really good job with some of the transparent blocks. Really helps to show like some of the anime effects. And so yes, if you're looking for a fun little build or a gift to give your Demon Slayer fiend friend, these are a good option. Tamagotchi, Tamagotchi is huge. We'll have a whole big section of Tamagotchi in a hot minute, but Demon Slayer's got Tamagotchi, so if you don't want to play with Mechi and Kuchipachi and you'd rather play with Tanjiro, we got you covered. And then move on to kind of the blind items. These are at Target and stuff, to where you get a pack. You can try to figure out what you want. Justin on my team is like his mutant powers. He can tell you exactly what's in every blind bag he ever opens. I don't have that power, so I just got to get lucky when I pick my blind bags up. And then, of course, finally, we have a couple statues from Ichiban Show. We have Nezuko and Tanjiro, down there, and then we have another one that has Tanjiro and Rengoku. All right, Naruto. Naruto is one of those iconic animes that's been around since the 90s, and Bandai has a ton of stuff for it. You can see some of the Ichiban Show statues up there. Of course, we have Jiraiya. Jiraiya's kind of my guy. So statues are really big especially for Naruto and some of the other ones we're going to show. And so the paint scheme and articulation are great. Banpresto is kind of like a sister company. They have some really, really great, interactions with those. Those are two separate statues that come together to make a great effect part. And then Banpresto continues underneath with some of these amazing statues that you see in front of you. And Ichiban Show, same thing. My favorite Ichiban Show one is the Naruto and Jiraiya kind of like sitting back to back, kind of just chilling. Or I guess Naruto's chilling. And then just to kind of show you the breadth of the line, you can see all the different sizes for Banpresto. They have large figures, medium figures, and even some small figures that really, really spotlight some of the iconic characters. And they do a great job of invoking kind of an emotion that you felt when you watched the series. You think back to that moment. And then on the bottom we have some Mega Cats. They decided, what would the Naruto characters look like as cats? And now here we are. It's amazing. And then they have some nanoblocks as well for Naruto. You're going to see that we have a lot of the same brands doing the same things, but with the different characters, and they're so fun. All right, continuing on with Naruto, we have a mixture of our toy figures, and then once you get there, in the middle, we have my favorite thing, which is like the ramen room. Ramen set. So you can put up to 6 figures, 4 on one side, 2 on the other side. Comes with bowls, comes with some extra hands. Let me see if I can get it up there with one hand here. Oh, so you can just see, it comes with like ramen eating hands and stuff like that. It comes with fun plates with food and stuff. It's a great piece, for Naruto. It's meant for Naruto, but there's no law saying you can't put whatever you want in there.
There's no law.
There's no law. We have no laws. There's no toy law. And then you have the SH Figure Arts for Naruto. Again, the SH Figure Arts line is just incredible. The articulation is second to none. You know, they really hit the Naruto line hard. They kind of paused it for a minute, but now it's coming back stronger than ever. The Nara Top 99, it's a fun line that you know, we got our guy Naruto with his fun little banner and everything like that. And I'm a sucker for banners. And then we have a couple more of the toy line. You know, the Anime Heroes is an amazing line. You can get those at like Target and Walmart. And then we have some out of the box below. And then these ones are Ultimate Legends. They're a little bit lower price point, same retailers, but these are a little more bare bones. They have less accessories, but they're a great entry level toy for someone, and they're for ages 4+. So if you got a youngin who's into Naruto, this is the line for you. And then of course we have this one is our Anime Heroes Beyond, so it comes with like an effect part. It's a little bit larger box, so it comes a little bit more for Naruto. And then below him is our big boys, our 12-inch Naruto line. Because what's better than just a regular sized Naruto? A big Naruto. And then some blind item Naruto pieces that you can pick up at mass retailers. These are always fun because it's like, it's like a little surprise, but at the end, your surprise is a Naruto figure. All right, now we got one piece. I know I promised to finish this last time I spoke to you guys, and I had to admit, I let you down. I didn't watch it. But what I did do is I built some of these model ships. So what you're seeing here are actual models. So we have two different sizes. We have the larger one for the Going Merry and the Thousand Sunny, and then we have the Grand Ship Collection, which are these little boats, which I think are a lot of fun because they're just a perfect size to where if you had them all, have a little armada, it's not going to be as overwhelming as at the big ship. So I built about 6 of these, and they're a lot of fun. Lots of stickers, but they're a lot of fun. Next up from Bandai Hobby is this fun little combiner. In the front you see all of these small little chopper pieces, and then it turns into that big chopper robot in the background. So for you chopper fans, this is kind of a must for you. Each of the pieces is $12. So you get all 5, and you got a set. We have some blind items. These are from Gashapon. What's cool about these is they come in little devil fruit bubbles. So not only do you get the figure, but you get a cool little devil fruit to go with it. Next up is some of our toy line. We've got our Anime Heroes. What's cool is this is one of the first times we're showing off Mihawk, which is of course the legendary swordsman. I've gotten that far in the anime. Super cool. Some Tamagotchi stuff. And then right below Tamagotchi is something brand new. This is the first time we've shown it off. These are going to be blind bag things from Tamashii Nations, to where they're different Luffys, and they have different like paint schemes. Like you got Luffy is like Nami, Luffy is Zoro. You got the to be continued one, and there's a secret one that we're not showing, but there will be like kind of almost like a chase. So this will be really fun. Then we have the SH Figure Arts. This line is going really, really, really strong. We're showing off a lot of the people, and you can see just they come with extra faces, extra hands, extra optional accessories, and they're really, really fun, super posable. If you've got something from the anime you want to do, SH Figure Arts is the one to do it with. And then, of course, we have Kaido, the villain from the Wano arc, and he is... To say he is a beast is quite the understatement. He is a monster. You can see his box versus the other boxes, so you're getting something big. And then under that, we have some of our fun like art and construction stuff, some paper theater, and then all the way up to N-Sky makes these amazing jigsaw puzzles. They have just the artwork is like next level, and so it's something you almost want to put on your wall after you finish building it. Then we have some more smaller items from Mega House. And they of course have their Mega Cat project as well, where you have Luffy and the gang, what they would be as kitty cats, and you can't go wrong with kitty cats. And then bath bombs. You're going to see bath bombs a couple of places. So these are our one-piece bath bombs. You can see it comes with a little barrel there, and you can see kind of what it looks like when it pops to the surface. And then on the bottom row, the last row, we have some stuff from Banpresto and Ichiban Show, some incredible statues. But you can see some of like the paint detail and the shading makes it really, really look like it popped right out of the anime. And it's just so much fun to have these on your shelves. And it goes all the way to our boy at the end. And that's One Piece. All right, so Tamashii Nation is showing off two very important things. They're showing off their Gundam line. So what you're seeing there is kind of the 3 stages. You have the metal roll, you have the the metal build, which is kind of the top of the line, the Metal Robot Spirit, which is an incredible figure with die-cast parts, and then you have the Gundam Universe on the far right. And so it's meant to be kind of Gundam Universe is kind of your entry level. It's a plastic. You can do some fun stuff with it. You can army build with it, and then you move on to like the bigger and better. Here's a new metal build that we're showing off. It's the Zeta Gundam. And what's cool about the Zeta Gundam is it actually transforms. Because in the anime, it has multiple forms, and so we're going to be able to accomplish that with our metal builds. It's going to be pretty rad. All right, next from Tamash Nations, we're showing off some of our SH figure arts. You've heard me say it a million times how good SH figure arts. The paint scheme, the posability, everything is great. We're just kind of showing a representation of, just to show you how many different anime we have. Whether that's Dragon Ball, One Piece, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, and at the bottom we have these really cool effect parts. So not only do we make the figure, we give you some ways to give them effect parts, because the anime loves to have their little auras and stuff like that. So we want to make sure that you're able to pose your figure and maximize its effectiveness on your shelf. And here you see them out of the box. We have Daima, we have One Piece, we have Naruto, My Hero, and Bleach. As you can see, just how posable they are, how many cool accessories they have, and just what you can do with some of these figures. All right, now we're talking about Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. It is my favorite anime. Going to start off with the amazing power pole. It comes in the sheath just like Goku had it, and it extends to a giant power pole. It shoots out of there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping it's going to lead to a lot of Goku Halloween costumes this year. It's only $19.99. You can get it at Target and all those places, Amazon.com. And then below it is just kind of a fun representation of just how extensive our Dragon Ball line is getting. Our goal probably is to make every Dragon Ball character, and we're well on our way to doing that. We have some open Daima figures. Daima is the current show and the last thing that Toriyama Sensei worked on, so it's very special to us. And this is something brand new. It's called Tamashii Art. It's a 3D representation of the original Dragon Ball manga, and it lights up, and it's going to look great either as an art piece on your wall or next to some of your figures on the shelf. Speaking of Daima, here are 5 of the figures from Daima: Goku, Vegeta, and then Mini Goku, Mini Vegeta, and Mini Piccolo. Underneath them is Banpresto. Banpresto, I don't know how they do it, if they're wizards or what they are, but they bust out statues so fast. So as soon as there's a new form, they seem to just have it out. And Dragon Ball has a lot of new forms, so it's great. And what they do is they do a great job of reminding you of iconic moments from the anime. So you'll see Gohan over here, in that magical pose when he finally went Super Saiyan 2 to defeat Cell, and it just looks straight out of the anime. And you got poor Cell doesn't know it's about to hit him. And then we have the little bit bigger line, the Grantista. We can only show you just the one, but it's pretty cool. We got Goku, we got Vegeta, and then I promise you there are other ones that you'll see later. But it's cool just to show you that the line is bigger. And then on the bottom we have some really cool stuff from the original Dragon Ball. We get a lot of requests, do more from the original Dragon Ball. So you got Oolong, we have Chi-Chi, we have Goku and Krillin from the original. And so, the original Dragon Ball is very near and dear to heart. Plus, we got Buff Roshi. Everyone loves Buff Roshi. They want to see him just roid out. And then maybe my favorite next is the Oolong making the ill-fated wish to Shenron there. I think we all know what he wished for, so I won't say it. But it's kind of a pivotal moment in Dragon Ball. It's the first wish of Dragon Ball. And then just some really fun Dragon Ball Banpresto and Ichiban show stuff, including them on bikes. People love riding bikes. All right, continuing on with Dragon Ball, right down from them we have some of our nanoblocks. I really love the clear effects on these. And then we have, the martial arts tournament grounds, which is a really fun one. Comes with the announcer and everything. And then moving on to some more constructible stuff, we have Paper Theater. Like I said, it's really fun to see these come to life, make a fun little 3D art piece for you. Who doesn't want 3D art? And then now we're going into kind of the toy section of it all. Here we have some of the Limit Breaker series, some of the larger Dragon Ball figures. We have a pretty good representation. These just feel good in your hand. They're big, especially if you have younger children. These are something you don't have to worry about them losing, because they're pretty big. Moving on, these are Dragon Stars. This is the battle pack. It comes with 2 figures. And then we have the Dragon Star Power Up Pack, where it has like the aura effects and like extra optional parts, kind of akin to like a beginner Tamashii Nations figure. And then moving on to some of like the smaller items, Dragon Ball Evolve, Dragon Ball Flash, and then all the way to the blind bag like Gashapon stuff. Who doesn't want to play the lottery and maybe you win a Brawly? And then, here we have another blind box item. These ones are super cute. This is from Daima, so you get some of the kid versions of some of the popular characters like Vegeta, Piccolo, Goku. And then last but not least on this bottom shelf is going to be our Dragon Stars. Our Dragon Star line continues to evolve. It continues to grow, as we continue to add new characters, because Dragon Ball has a lot of characters and we got to get them all. And I was wrong. The last thing is actually these are actual model kits. So these are both model kits that you can purchase and put together, and there's a lot of playability with our model kits. No paint, no glue required. All right, G-Quux is going to be the new series from Gundam, and we brought some cool G-Quux stuff as well as some other Gundam stuff. Here we have some plush heads. We have Char Zaku, we have a regular Zaku, we have an RX-78, and we have my favorite, the Haro, with the little flappy ears, because Haros are cute. These are great on your shelf. Great. The Haro you can probably throw around and stuff like that, but I wouldn't. It's too precious to me. And here we have the actual model, the hero model from G-Quux. This is a high-grade model kit. Every time they make a new model kit from Bandai, I'm amazed at just how much they've evolved. You can kind of see what the sprues look like for the kit. You see the patented Bandai, injection molding with multicolor on a sprue. Again, no paint, no glue required. It comes right out of the box. You can build it look just like that one. But then, of course, if you're talented, unlike me, you can weather it and battle damage it. Here we have the two main units from Requiem for Vengeance, the Netflix series. We have the Gundam EX as well as the Zaku 2. Moving on to Ban Presto and Ichiban Show, we have some really fun stuff from G-Quux. We have the actual Hero Gundam as well as Amate, the protagonist of the series. And then, of course, we've got some rubber charms, so you can put on the back of your backpack and just go to town, have some fun. Show your love for Gundam. And then my personal favorite part of our booth is, if we want to start on this side over here on the left, it just kind of shows like the scale, the different grades we do. So we start at the SD, then we move on to the entry grade, then the entry grade goes to the high grade, which is a little more complex but the same size. Then we go to the real grade, which also scales with the high grade, but it's a little more complex and you can see the detail a little bit better. And then we move to the master grade, which has the same detail of the real grade, but it's a little bit bigger. And of course, it all ends up with the perfect grade, which is the creme de la creme. And I've had that on my desk for like 2 years and I'm still too scared to build it, but don't be like me, don't be scared. And then on the bottom, you can just kind of see what the sprues look like. These are our runners. You can see that we can have up to 4 different colors on a runner, and color instructions. I think a lot of people are afraid that maybe model kits are difficult or they're finicky or they need glue or something like that. But the Bandai kits are super duper easy. Everything snaps together. You don't need any special tools. You don't need any paint, any glue. So we're really excited to be the model company. And then we have some amazing stuff from Shokugan. These are blind items as well. QMSV. And then, of course, these adorable Yuri guns, and you can see you got to get them all. All right, of course, we are not just Gundam people. Bandai Hobby makes a ton of other things. Right to the left of it, you can see these Planosaurus dinosaur model kits. These are my personal favorite kits. I've built all of them, and what's amazing about them is that you can build them as either how they would be in real life or as their fossil form. So if you just want to have like a night at the museum level like dinosaur display, you can have that at your desk. So that's what mine kind of looks like. Underneath that is an offshoot of our 30-minute mission line called 30-Minute Fantasy. So it's these cool mechs, but dressed as like knights and paladins and all of these cool things. So the only thing that makes a mech cooler is if he's like a paladin. And then on the bottom shelf we have stuff from our Yu-Gi-Oh line. So we have one more 30-minute mission on the side, and then it goes into Yu-Gi-Oh. So we have the Millennium Puzzle, we have the Blue Eyes White Dragon, we have Exodia, and then we have the Ra. The Winged Dragon of Ra, sorry. We're on a first name basis, so it's just Ra for me. But and then of course over here is where Pokemon begins. This first part is going to be all Pokemon. They're called Pokemon Model Kit Quick. So they're meant to be built, as the name says, quick, but they're also less pieces, and so it's more friendly for like younger builders. All of the quick models are $10, and then we kind of So and as you can see, there's a lot of them. So if you got a little one that's in a Pokemon, like all little ones, they're playing Pokemon Go, or they've been playing some of the main series games, or even if they just came on board with the anime. We have so many of these model kits for them. Slowbro right there is an iconic one for me. My favorite of the new starters has to be the adorable Fuecoco. I think that the little apple alligator is just too adorable to pass up. Moving on to more Pokemon model kits. These are our more traditional model kits. Still good for a younger fan base, but you can see that they're a little bit more intricate. But these display perfectly on your shelf. They're pretty affordable for model kits. They range from like $10 to like $16, $17. I think some of the bigger ones might be $20, but they're pretty rad. I've built plenty of these with my kids because my kids, like all kids, are obsessed with Pokemon. Gengar, personal favorite. And then we have some fun evolution lines to where you build the last line of the evolution, and then you get little figures for the first line. So like you get the Piplup. So we have these for this generation of starters. And then the model kits end with the amazing large Magikarp, which I think is funny because it's actually larger than the Gyarados. It's a fun little goofy model kit that I think that might be the first Pokemon model kit I did build. And then on the very, very bottom, we have some amazing End Sky puzzles. They have some Arc Crystal puzzles you can see in the middle that you kind of put up against like a window, and it almost creates like a stained glass effect. It's great. And then we have Paper Theater as well. So Pokemon is well represented at the Bandai. All right, so we're doing bath bombs like crazy over at Bandai. We have a couple fun ones here. Here you can see our marine animal collection. It's kind of to create your own little mini aquarium. So you put the bath bomb in after it's done fizzing. You got a fun little toy. And of course, we're getting to Jaws. He's the ultimate marine animal. You put it in, the water fizzes blue, and then of course it turns red. And then afterwards, you got a shark, and he goes doo-doo-doo. And here you have some of our small Mega Cat. So this is a part of the Mega Cat project over here. Cats are liquid; they fit into jars, and so here we have just some of our cats that are in jars. You're going to see more cats as you go on as part of our Mega Cat project. You saw kind of the little ones over in the individual sections, but here are some of the bigger ones, and then maybe some of the tiny ones. So the Gundam ones are in a box because if it fits, it sits. That's how cats work. Never had a cat. Katya's probably a cat person behind me. Oh yeah, I like dogs. Not a cat person. And then everyone loves ice cream. So we have these really fun like stackable characters as ice cream sundaes. You can mix and match. You can go as high. You get a 2 scoop there, and it's just a really fun thing. It's a blind item, make your own sundae. Maybe we'll just go right down, and that's just more of the Mega Cats with more of the giant-sized Mega Cats. You got the Narutos, and then down there you got some of the amazing One Piece, like the larger cat pieces. And then just kind of trucking along a little bit more, we have some more of items from our Mega House. We have our mascot lines, and then we have other bath bombs other than the marine animals and Jaws. We have Sanrio, which is really fun because you'll get a lot of fun things. And then we just have some of our Sugar Closet series from Lifestyle. All right, so this is stuff from our Bandai Namco Nui. So this is an offshoot of Band Presto. We have Sakamoto Days. We have Dan. Both of those are super hot anime right now. And then continue to truck. You see like smaller versions of Sakamoto Days and Dan. And then below it, you have what a lot of people are really excited about, the Has-Been Hotel stuff. The second season's going to air on Amazon, I think this year. But we have some plush. You don't see a lot of Has-Been Hotel items, and so we're super excited to have some. We still have more plush. We show like the difference of the lines. The bigger, the smaller, the knit look one there, and then we've got Fearin. And then on the bottom here are some fun things they clip to your phone, so it's like a plushie that clips to your phone. And what I like about this display is I'm positive it's the first time ever that Godzilla and Big Bird have been in a case next to each other. And I don't think that will ever happen again, and I'm proud to be here for this historic moment. Hey, thanks for taking the tour of the Bandai Namco Toys and Collectibles booth at Toy Fair 2025. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, you can hit us up online at Bandai Collect across all your social channels, and hope to see you next year.